Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to share with you today how you can prepare for PCE at WGU. I'm going to explain what PCE is, its requirements, tasks to complete, and much more about this program. Plus, I discuss free resources and tips. Before I get started, please don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons. So PCE stands for pre-clinical hours, which is basically you becoming a student teacher. Now, for most universities, it's just observation hours, but for WGU, they actually go above that. This is the incredible moment where you get to be in a classroom. I was so excited when I started, and I can't tell you the incredible feeling that I felt when I actually started. Give yourself credit to finally being in this position. So for WGU, you will co-teach with a small group of students, interact one-on-one, walk around the classroom. You won't just be sitting in the room in the back writing things down. You will be doing observation hours, and I'll get to that in a second, but you will also be teaching, even to the whole class at one point. So once you start PCE, it's the beginning of you getting an entire support team. Some of these you will see more of when you begin direct teaching. Most states do require at least 75 hours of PCE hours or observational hours. I know my state does. If you are in Kentucky, you need to complete at least 200 hours of PCE. So let me break down these hours for you. If you are in Kentucky, I don't know how it works for you. You will have to check with your program mentor on this. But for those of you who have a state like my state with 75 hours, I'm going to be able to break this down for you. So classroom observations is 30 hours. You have a minimum of 10 hours for teaching experiences. You will have a maximum 10 hours of lesson planning and about 10 to no more than 25 hours of additional experiences. The goal of PCE is to really prepare you for DT, direct teaching, by getting you familiar with skills of lesson planning, teacher delivery, and analysis of lesson and assessments. So take everything in. Ask questions to your mentor teacher, learn all you can about teaching strategies, the curriculum, the students, classroom management, so much more. I do have a list of questions you can use in your PCE hours, so it's not overwhelming of what to ask. I will link it down below for you guys. So let's go over the requirements for the PCE process. You do have some pre-requirements. Before you can even start, you do have to pass the basic skills exam. Teachers, you will want to do the Praxis Core exam. I have videos down below of how you can pass all three of those. You have to get a background check done. This is done online through Complio. And you will also have to get your fingerprints done. I highly recommend that you don't do it yourself because I actually had to redo mine. Go to some other resource. They do give you resources on where you can get your fingerprints done. So go to one of those and get your fingerprints done. You also need to have liability teacher insurance. They want you to have one that has like a $2 million policy, not a $1 million policy. You will also need to go to some special webinars to help you get ready. Some of these include like professional development and ethics, intro to PCE, that sort of thing. Your mentor will email you as it gets closer for when you should start to attend those and which ones you need to participate in. It does take time for you to be placed. It takes like 2 weeks to like no more than 2 months. At most, it's about a month to get started. So keep that in mind as well. You also get to advocate for your preferences of like where you want to go to teach. There is an approved list that they have, so just work with your facilitator. They do have another facilitator that is actually in your state and can work with WG on where you should be placed. So just definitely work with your support team on that. I can tell you that you can work in the same school for PCE and DT, which is great because the process was already long enough, so you don't have to change schools if you don't want to. And if you're a school employee, I believe you can still work in your school. I don't think you have to change it, but double check with your mentor on that one. Now, your facilitator will reach out to the schools to help you get settled in a school with a mentor teacher. It's absolutely crucial that you yourself do not reach out to the school or a potential mentor teacher yourself. Let your facilitator do that, otherwise, it's just a legal mess. When you're getting ready to meet with your mentor teacher, you want to send an email introducing yourself to your mentor teacher. The PCE course does provide a meet the teacher template letter that you can actually send to them yourself. Um, I also have a meet the student teacher template that you can give to your mentor teacher and to your students that you will be interacting with. When you're speaking to your mentor teacher, offer to speak with them by calling or emailing, maybe even face to face. Just trying to get to know them and their classrooms so that you can better prepare for when it's appropriate to visit them in their classroom and to do your hours in. So PCE is still an actual course. Despite you getting hours and whatnot, you also have to go through material. Now they call their material the teaching cycle because that's basically what it is. Planning a lesson, delivering a lesson, assessment, analysis, that sort of thing. So you will have to go through actual material with it. The hours are just required, I think, for your degree, but also the license for your state, especially if you're getting a license in your state. The material helps you to focus on skills needed for your hours, like engaging students, collaborating with other teachers, analyzing assessments, instructional planning and delivery, and much more. I do have a free co-teaching models infographic. You're welcome to look at that. That kind of helps you to know the different models of how you might be collaborating with your mentor teacher or how both of you will be teaching in a room together. So because this is a course, you do have some tasks that go along with this. You have 3 of them. They all have to do with one lesson plan. Now, I'm going to go over some things that you will have to be submitting. For your first task, you are submitting 3 things. You're creating and submitting a lesson plan. You are submitting a contextual factors form. This is more to do with the demographics data about your school and the classroom you're working with. This is data that it's kind of like free to the public, so check with the school that you're working with to see if you can grab that data. You do have to cite that information, so make sure you get a copy of it. And the third thing that you're giving to task 1 is an additional essay. This essay is going to describe and outline your planning on the lesson plan, basically. And you do get to discuss the subject area with your mentor teacher as well. It's crucial for collaborating with them because you are going to be doing this in their classroom. So you want to make sure that you're doing not just the right standards, but doing a particular subject area that your mentor teacher is okay with. Task 2, you are delivering your lesson. Thankfully, you don't have to provide a video of it or anything. The only things that you're submitting for task 2 is your clinical observation form. This is what your mentor teacher is going to fill out when you actually deliver your lesson. They're going to basically observe you and kind of write how you did on your lesson. And then you're going to write an essay basically reflecting on how you implemented your lesson. Task 3 seems a bit heavy and daunting, but don't worry, it's not. You're going to submit 2 essays. The first is you analyzing your assessment from your lesson. The second is you're reflecting on your overall experience of PCE. You're also going to submit 2 work samples of students. Be sure to keep their names confidential. You're also going to submit your PCE log. You do have to submit a log to keep track of all the hours that you did. So you have to go ahead and do that. And then, of course, you also have to submit a signature form. This is evidence that you had a host school for your PCE. So classroom observations, they can be face-to-face, online, or in a blended learning environment. I encourage you to take notes of this experience. Take notes of the classroom layout. How are the students being engaged? Instructional strategies, assessments, classroom management, differentiation, all that good stuff. Make sure you log your hours and coordinate when it's a good time to observe again. Discuss with your mentor teacher what you saw and ask questions. Save your notes for when you teach later on. Teaching experiences. When you get ready to teach, make sure you log hours for teaching experiences as well. Interact with students one-on-one, small group, or when you're teaching your lesson. Your lesson is just about a day, so make sure you get as much experience with students as you can. Um, the whole teaching experience, you're going to be doing lots more interacting with students than just your lesson plan. So make sure that you are spending enough time with students and building relationships with them. Again, collaborate with your mentor teacher. And remember, you really want to benefit from teaching experiences as much as possible because it's really going to help you for your career. And as you get ready to go into direct teaching, you'll be doing it more and possibly every day. So for lesson planning, remember only no more than 10 hours for lesson planning. And this is for when you are like collaborating with your mentor teacher, having discussions about your lesson plan. It's also a way for you to kind of log in your discussions and your hours and whatnot. You can discuss your questions with them and the lessons maybe you observe with them as well. The best way to get in hours with this section is to debrief with your mentor teacher every day about your experiences in the classroom, what you saw, what you did, what you learned, still have questions on, etc. With additional experiences, this is a great way to get other kinds of experience at the school and the teaching level. So you have to get at least 10 hours of this. So I highly recommend that you attend professional development sessions, maybe when your mentor teacher does, go to teacher meetings or webinars, basically participate in any teacher or school related function. My best tips for this course would be to reflect your experience throughout PCE. Really just enhances your own learning. Have an open mind with new ideas when collaborating with your mentor teacher. Stay interested and have some enthusiasm for learning. Expect mistakes and challenges because it's going to happen. It's new for you. It is expected, so don't worry about that. Just give yourself credit for when you're growing. Gather supplies for yourself before your first day. Use the resources that I have linked below and the ones that WGU has provided as well to help you get prepared. Build a good relationship with your mentor teacher and their students. It's okay to refer to your notes of maybe previous courses that you've taken or your notes in PCE. And last but not least, don't be afraid to ask questions or for help. Thank you so much for being a part. PCE will really prepare you as you begin to merge in your role as a teacher. I will post those freebies down below for you and all the resources that I mentioned in this video and so much more. Thank you so much for watching, guys.